What is freedom? Is it something you can really achieve? Or is it just an idea? And what does it mean to be completely free? Today we are going to analyze Eren Yeager's actions while trying to understand his concept of freedom, and of course we will mention the big question: can Eren truly be free? Welcome back, Attack on Titan fans, for another Manga Horse video. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a little like if you want to see more like this. And if you want to support my channel, feel free visit my new Patreon page. This video is only my own opinion and interpretation, and I would love to hear your thoughts about it. And lastly, I will mention events from the manga, so there will be some spoilers later on this video, and I will announce them. So what is freedom? I think that for most of us, the term freedom can mean a range of different things. Each of us has different perspectives and worldviews, therefore the meaning can be different between one another. I think that for most people, freedom means to not be a slave to another person or country. But is freedom simply the ability to move freely and go wherever we please, or is there more meaning to it? In order to try answering this, let's see what's the definition of the word freedom. There are actually several definitions, but we'll talk about the most significant ones. The first one, the absence of subjection to a foreign domination or government, which is the basic right to not be ruled by another outside government or a king on your own homeland. The second one, the state of not being imprisoned or enslaved, which means you have the right to maintain your physical freedom and also not to be sold to others. And the third one, the power or right to act, speak, think, and move as one wants without hindrance or restraint. This is the most interesting one, because it basically means that you can do whatever you want whenever you want to, without no one preventing it. So if those are the definitions of freedom, why shouldn't we all just do it? What prevents us from being completely free and act this way? Some will say it is because we live in a civilized society, while others will say it is because we have rules and therefore also punishments. But we can all agree that we can't all do whatever we want, because there are indeed certain rules and code of conduct in a civilized society. And by that logic, someone could simply steal, kill, or even worse, without any concerns or restraint. So we can all agree that the definition of being completely free is not something that should actually happen. And if all of us will act without restrictions, we will all be dead really soon. But still, we do have different rules and restrictions across different countries, and something that is considered a punishable crime in one place can be completely legal in another. That means that the definition of freedom is also very relevant to the time and the general atmosphere of the current time and place. So, let's explore Eren's life inside the walls in the first season and see if he was free. Eren lived a peaceful life inside the walls. He wasn't enslaved to anyone, and he wasn't a prisoner, but the Titans outside and the other walls took away his ability to move and travel wherever he wanted. But on the other hand, we see that this is a functioning society. There aren't any wars or known crimes against humanity inside the walls, opposing for what is happening on the outside world. So from that perspective, can we assume that all the people inside the walls have considerably more freedom than the Eldians in the rest of the world? After all, they are all ignorant of their past and also living with the Titans, walling them from the world conflict. I would say yes, because they are indeed free from any feeling of remorse or guilt, and also free from attacks because of the Titans surrounding them. We can also say they currently have the freedom of having a clear conscience. Remember that our minds and thoughts can sometimes be a type of mental cage, preventing us from getting past or forgetting certain things that affect our life. So freedom from your own past actions can also be considered as freedom. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. So Eren's definition of freedom is to be free of the Titans and all the restrictions that keep him inside the walls, and later on also killing all the Titans, but still the same purpose of freeing himself and his friends from inside the walls. Of course, he doesn't know anything about how the outside world sees them and about Marley. So he grew up in a society trapped inside walls, dividing the population from the rich, who lives in Sina, to the poorer population who lives in Maria. But I still think it's arguably a better life rather than knowing that the world wants you dead, and not only the Titans. And without knowing that, the people of the island still can have open dreams beyond the Titans, and that is huge. Take for example young Eren and Armin, dreaming to go past the Titans and see the wonders of the outside world. But we can all agree they wouldn't have that dream to begin with if they knew what is waiting for them outside. So because young Eren and the others didn't actually know the situation back then, they still had the privilege of hoping and working towards a better future. And that is why I personally think that ignorance in that situation can be considered a type of freedom. This is where things get much more interesting and complicated, so stay with me as we start getting philosophical about Erens Freedom, and that is also where the spoilers for anime watchers will begin. In the latest events in the manga, we come to realize that Eren knows his future, or at least part of it, as we've seen from the scenery panel. He also knows that the future is set in motion because of all the time paradox, which I talked in much more details in this video. So let me ask you this, even if you are an all-powerful, godlike creature like Eren that knows the course of time, are you really free? Let me explain what I mean. I can argue that if someone knows the future, he is robbed from the ability to make future choices. If you know how everything ends, it makes your decision irrelevant, because no matter what you'll do, the final result will remain the same. And don't get me wrong, that is the same case for everyone living in the Attack on Titan universe, but the only difference is that Eren knows it and the others don't. They don't know that their future is set, so they have the privilege to think they can change things, make a difference, and live life like they choose to live it. While Eren, on the other hand, doesn't have this privilege, so basically you can say that Eren is robbed from the right for free will or free choice. If everything you do or not do leads to the same place, then you have no free will or a real choice, but it only affects you when you are aware of that. From that point on, you are simply a leaf, floating in the endless stream of creation. So what can Eren do to actually achieve true freedom in the Attack on Titan universe at this point? I have two options. The first one is defensive, to hide in a single protected place and delete all the memories of the people around him. That is actually the same as King Fritz did. He chose to stop fighting and traded fighting for 100 years of peace. It was only 100 years, but the people living in that time inside the walls were indeed free from their past and from the conflict. When you don't know you are doomed, you are free to believe your actions matter, even if it's only for 100 years. That is what King Fritz tried to achieve, a perfect little paradise that will stay uninterrupted for 100 years. Eren's second option is the offensive one, which I think is what currently in play in the story. In this scenario, Eren destroys everything outside of the island, and then also deletes the memories of everyone, including himself. And we can see that it can go nicely with Eren's dream from the first episode, and the fact that he said that he couldn't remember anything and it all felt like a dream. Eliminate the enemy and forget, or hide and forget. Those are the only ways to achieve freedom at that point in the story, at least in my opinion. Even if I'm wrong, I still believe Eren knows he has to manipulate some memories in order to stop this fighting. The only question remaining now is, will Eren succeed in his plan to destroy the entire world? And will he finally get the freedom he dreamed of since he was just a child? Thank you so much for joining me today, my Titan-loving friends, and don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to tell me your thoughts in the comments. And until next time, let me just remind you all to dedicate your hearts for humanity inside and outside the walls.